Welcome to Being Confident from Within with Natalie Potts, the podcast that shares what it really takes to be confident. I'm passionate about helping people grow businesses with confidence. Does it seem like everyone around you is naturally confident and sure of themselves? Well, the chances are they have self-doubts just like you. I'm in conversations with inspiring individuals to share what confidence means to them and to help you find ways to believe in yourself and create confidence at any time. Claire, thank you so much for joining me today. Share a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Thank you for asking me. It's a pleasure. So my name is Claire Morton and I'm a high performance coach, and I work with busy, stressed out CEOs, entrepreneurs and leaders, helping them to just create space and balance in their life so that they can then really accelerate in life and business. I've been in the world of personal development and training for about 20 years, and I absolutely love what I do. I do a lot of work in terms of coaching, courses, and the main topics that I talk about and teach on is meditation as a practice to be able to go in and rest the body and also connect the two hemispheres of the brain to be able to get to that place of consciousness and really know and connect what people want from their life and their purpose. I also teach a lot of stuff around leadership, and I'm a yoga teacher as well, because again, you know what it's like, it's all about movement in the body and change, creating space not just in the body and in them but also in the mind. And what we were talking about prior to this, Myers-Briggs, I love doing stuff around people's personalities and letting people become more aware about themselves so that they can then make the changes that are best for them.
Yeah,
and apart from that, I'm a mother of 3 kids, and I've got 2 huskies who I absolutely adore. They are like the light of my life. And I live in Liverpool.
Amazing, thank you. And incredibly passionate about what you do. I love your energy with everything, and it's interesting to hear everything that you do. It's amazing. I love the point about the awareness, because I think awareness is key to any change. And this is what I love with coaching. What does if I was to go around bringing this in with confidence, let's start with what confidence means to you.
I love this topic. I love the fact that you wanted to talk about this topic, because confidence to me means that you are confident in your abilities and your skills to be able to show them to the world, and to also use them from a place of coming from a place of helping other people as well with your skills and tools. I think confidence as well. Some people think you're born with confidence, but no one's born with confidence.
Yeah.
Confidence comes from trying and learning new things, in my perspective, from my perspective and my journey, because as an extrovert and as a high E in my Myers-Briggs, people always say, oh yeah, you're definitely an E because you're so extrovert and you're so confident and you're always like, you're there. And I'm like, actually, I'm not always confident. It depends on what area of your life, and over time and trying new things and coming out of my comfort zone has helped me build that confidence.
Yeah.
So for me, confidence is about, feeling sure of yourself, knowing your abilities, and also wanting to share them with others, and for it to not only help yourself but to help others as well. And you know what you want, you know what you stand for, you've got your boundaries, you're comfortable with telling people no, you're not that people pleaser, which is something that I still have elements of that in me. But yeah, that's what it means to me.
That's interesting, that idea of people pleaser as well. And I know it's coming through and it's resonating quite a lot around this idea of associating confidence with learning skills and getting out there and doing that. And that's where, it's like the cycle of knowledge and experience, and you get confidence, but you got to be confident to do that most of the time. I had this idea of this. I'm not convinced by it at the minute. I'm just bouncing it around in my mind, and I pay attention to things until I'm like, yeah, it means this to me. What's this, if I was to throw in what naturally confident means to you, what do you think of that? being naturally confident.
Naturally confident.
Like, I just think sometimes when I think of myself, because I'm very confident, and I think that it looks to people like it's just so natural, but it's just, and I come at it from a place of, I just get out, get experience, I learn new things. I also like the idea of the foundation that I always look to people who believe in me, because that gives me a boost, that actually that belief from someone else inspires me. If I think back to like when I started, there's bits I didn't like of school. The minute I got into drama and someone believed in me and saw something I didn't, that changed everything. So kind of like, I just seem to exude, like for some people, maybe like this idea of naturally confident.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I've only met you a couple of times, haven't I, in person, and I would say that you're a confident person from what I see, for sure. And I would say, naturally confident, like, because you ask questions, you share your thoughts and your perspective. You're not afraid to talk up or speak up, which I think is, you have a plan of what you want to do to achieve the goals. You know what you want. You come across like you know what you want. So I would say you come across as naturally confident to me. There's probably areas in my life where I am naturally confident, where it just seems to flow with ease. So when I am with people who I know are my people, who are, again, say very similar to you, around, if people give me good, positive energy or feedback and want and are asking me questions. So if I've got a really good coach, I want them to praise me, and that boosts my confidence, but not to the point where it boosts me to overconfidence. It just makes me feel like, oh, okay, I need to be more visible. I've got stuff that I need to be sharing with people. I'm going to go out there and stand for what I'm here for and what my purpose is. And I'm going to stand on this platform and I'm going to speak about what I believe in, and hoping to help and inspire other people. So I'd say naturally confident for me. I'm naturally confident as someone who presents information, because I've been in the world of training for 20 years. So, but that wasn't always the case. But I can just get, if I know the topic, if you know your stuff, you can just get up and be confident with it, because it's that competence in your ability and your skill, isn't it, to know that, okay, well, I could talk about this subject today because I actually know about it. But I think you've got to have some type of knowledge of whatever it is to know, to be confident. I don't think anyone's born with confidence.
No, but it's
comes through trying and learning.
Yeah, some people will have the knowledge, but they still don't have the confidence. And I think that goes back to exactly like you said, and this is what's so poignant and important about doing things like personality tests, is the understanding of awareness of what you stand for and who you are. And I probably, I'll be bold enough and say it, but a lot of people don't really know that. They don't know who they are.
No.
Therefore, it's like, well, how can you be confident if you don't know who you are?
And this is what society's telling us right now. And again, for us, because we're coaches, we ask these questions of ourselves and our clients every day, and our coaches ask us. So I am really clearly defined on what my purpose is and what I'm on this planet for. But if you'd have asked me that, even though I was doing this 20 years ago, it was only surface level stuff. It's only in the last 10 years I've been on a massive journey of growth to discover who the hell I am. And it's not all like, airy fairy running in the fields, and it's, it's hugging trees and all that. It's like some stuff that comes up, doesn't it? And you're like, oh my God. And it's like sitting with that awareness of, who am I? What do I actually stand for?
Yeah.
And noticing the people that you hang around with, and noticing like the habits that you've got. And for me, that whole thing around Myers-Briggs, meditation, sitting with yourself, journaling, whatever it is that works for you. But I'll always go on about meditation and stillness, to be able to be present with yourself so that you can connect to the inner being, because we're all souls in human bodies. We're not bodies with souls. We are souls. We come from something that's created this world and these planets that is baffles me every day, but it's magic. And once we connect to that awareness and the purpose, which can take people months, years, or some people, as you say, never find the purpose because they don't take that time out to do it, or they're too worried about really going for what they want because they're worried about what other people think. So they live a life with a mask on, and that is just not confidence. That's just it's just someone not living a life on purpose, and that really upsets me, and hence why that's my mission as a coach. It's probably yours as well, and like for us to help people uncover and unpick who they are, to be the person that the best version of themselves for themselves and to serve others. And confidence comes with awareness and knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, because we've all got strengths and we've all got weaknesses, and accepting them as well. I accept all my flaws now. I never used to.
What changed that?
Yoga, meditation. That was in 2014, because I've been doing NLP, neuro-linguistic program, and I've been a practitioner in that for more than 10 years, I think. And even that was like therapy when I became a practitioner, a master practitioner. But then it wasn't until hitting rock bottom in 2014, when me and my husband broke up, our marriage broke down. And I went to a yoga class with one of my best friends, and I just went to this class and came out and I couldn't stop crying. And she was like, I'm not going to that class anymore because I can't stop crying. She was like, you obviously need to cry. So I've been pushing so much stuff down because I was distracted with the outside world, going out, drinking, loads of like binge drinking, taking drugs, being with the people. I've still got some really great friends from that time, but mixing with people that you just want people to like you. And it was just all really false. And at the same time that the kids were young then, Mark was working away, and I just was working at like long hours, long weeks, and people pleasing, doing too many things, and I just fell to pieces. And a friend said, come to yoga. And in the stillness of that yoga class and the shavasana at the end of the practice, and I was like, I couldn't console myself. And it was the acknowledgement of, I really need to learn how to feel my feelings and stop pushing them down. And that was when it began. And then that was when it was like, I was really inquisitive about, well, what's this feeling, and why am I having these thoughts, and why does that feeling of that person cause this feeling for me? And really sitting with emotions and allowing those negative and emotions that we all feel as human beings, allowing them to come up. So I really do feel into myself every day now and sit in stillness and with meditation and breath work to allow that to come up. And then, because, as I say, I'm 46 by now, I've realised that I don't care what people think of me, but it shouldn't have to take you to get to your 40s or for a life, a life-changing event to happen for people to find themselves. We should be finding out who we are much earlier on. When we're kids. And again, we can change. You don't have to pick, it's that thing around when you're a kid and like, what do you want to be when you're older? I don't know. I didn't know what I wanted to do till I was 26, because I tried HR and training and then realized, oh my God, I love it. I love helping people learn. It's self-awareness for me, number one key, knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are, and then figuring out what your purpose is. But you can only figure that out by looking at what your passions are. But people don't know what the passions are. So it's like, what lights you up and what drains you is usually the first thing I'll ask, and noticing that. So start removing yourself from what drains you and start going more towards what brings you joy. And then that can then help you start to unpick what you want to do with life and what you stand for.
That's such a great question. I have a performance coach as well, and he always asks me every week to check in. One of those questions is, what's draining me this week that I'm going to let go of, type thing. And it's a hard question to answer, it sounds like you just think, oh, okay. But actually, when you really tap into that, and another one I struggle with but love at the moment is, what am I resisting? Because it makes me really think. I'm like, where is the resistance?
Yeah, I love that question.
Yeah, it's just very powerful, and that's what we both love with this idea of asking great questions of people. But they've got to be in that space to welcome that, I think. And I think it's the same with this idea of confidence, that people just want to suddenly be there like it's going to be a silver bullet, and it's like, no, again, it's this piece of, it's going to mean something different. You've got to see how it's showing up in different areas of your life. And even there, the point about the, resonating highly with you is the type of people you surround yourself with. And like, when I reflect back and think about moments when I was 26, I had really low self-esteem because of certain relationships, and I lost all my confidence, and I couldn't see it. Actually, others saw it around me. And again, but it's having those people around you that are then your advisors and that trust you and that believe in you to help you see that as well. And that's where I said, it's that belief part, isn't it? When you're in moments where you can't see it.
And having that trusted community around you to notice when you're not okay, but also to give you the kick up the arse for when you are maybe feeling a little bit feeling sorry for yourself, or, to just have those truthful conversations, but to come from a place with good intention. And I know that there's people that are in my life now, the majority of them are good friends. And I say good friends as they don't just tell me what I want to hear. They'll have those honest conversations with me, or they'll say to me, you don't seem yourself today, what's going on? Because as an ESFJ, one of my main things to do is when I'm stressed or feel not confident is I go in and I go quiet. And people are like, you're not quiet, what's wrong? But even when I need to focus on something, I'll take myself away and I'll focus on it, and then I feel quite lonely because I drain myself, because I don't like being on my own. However, over time and through getting to know myself in the last 10 years, I love going into meditation. I love that quiet time, and then that really tops my energy up. It tops my soul up. It tops source up, God, whatever you want to call it, to give me that connection of, I know who I am, and I know what I'm here for, and I know what I stand for. And if no one wants to be around me, that's fine. Or if certain people don't like what I've got to say, that's fine. I used to get really upset and offended by people and go, oh, have I done something wrong? And it's like, not everybody likes everybody. That's okay. So I'm okay with that. I am more truthful with good intent. If I've got something to say to someone, it'll always be with good intentions. I would never say something to someone if it was to be nasty. I mean, don't get me wrong. We've all got dark side and we've all got good side. We've all got, when no one's perfectly nice all the time. But it comes from a good place, and I do give a lot more honest feedback now, and I've got better relationships because of that. People trust what you say, and I trust what they say.
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually. And I think that I could talk to you for hours on this. If I was to ask you and see how this links to confidence as well, who's been your best mentor in your life and why?
Yeah, so I had a little think about this one, because I know that you said you were going to ask me this question, and oh my God, there's so many people in my life that I can look on. And I was on a podcast yesterday and similar question was asked. And you know what? My mum, I was spent time with her when I had my operation a few weeks ago. She came away with me on holiday to go for this operation. And she was like, I'll come with you. And I was like, Mum, it's not a holiday. I'm resting. It's an operation and I've got to rest. And she's like, yeah, I want to come with you. Can't let you go on your own. And I haven't had that time with my mum on our own in an environment where there's letting, the kids are there, or there's life's going on, or I'm busy. And I've just noticed how much time I haven't had with her, and just sitting with her and watching her in this place that we stayed at, in this villa with loads of other people, reminded me of how confident she is. She is so confident in going and asking for things. So I was like, when I was like lying in bed and she'd be like, oh, I'm going to go and speak to the doctor and ask them for more Medicaid. And I'd be like, oh no, it doesn't matter. I'm okay. She's like, no, you're in pain. You need more painkiller. Just making a decision and going and asking someone, and not shy of asking for stuff, but in a really nice way. And then going and speaking to people sitting around by the pool, because it was like a villa that we were recuperating in after the hospital. And she was just going over and going, are you okay? Are you okay? Does anybody want me to do anything? And I was just observing and going, you are so, because I know she's dead loving, she's dead kind, and sometimes, God love her, I say, oh, she does me head in, but I love her to be. But I thought, I am so proud of my mum, and that she's my mum, and I need to be more like my mum.
Yeah.
She's confident in, she comes from a loving place. She checks in with people. She's not scared to ask for what she wants. She gets things done, and she's 72 and she looks amazing. She looks about 50. She moves, she exercises, and she is truly herself. So for that question, it was my mum. And then just for some other famous answers, I went to Angelina Jolie. I absolutely love what she stands for, and she's been quite vulnerable and showing you her life and what she does. Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
And then there's so many women, and even in terms of men, because I love working with men as well. Like, you know, Tony Robbins, I don't know whether he can come across as arrogant or confident, but to me, he's confident. He does a lot of good stuff in the world. You know, Justin Bieber is a young guy who's been through a lot. I think now you could say he's a well-rounded individual. Denzel Washington, he's like, I just love him. He's so humble, but he's so confident. Absolutely. He knows what he stands for, and he gives some amazing advice and listens. So there's quite a few people there. As an ESFJ, I'm very detailed, just you can probably tell.
No, I love it. It's great examples, and I think that's a point. Even if you maybe don't have people around you that you're in an environment you feel that people are negative, and I take for granted the network around me and the people around me, but then I do think I've created that intentionally too. It wasn't always that way. You know, I've had all those people saying, oh, you ask people a bunch of questions, you've had all of that, but you decide to let things go and work out what's right for you. But I'm very conscious that some people aren't in those worlds, and they're wanting to find their path as such, and find what do they need to do to actually find their purpose as well, and be in that space. And I think that sometimes then people that are more in the limelight and famous, etc., they can be that for them still. And that's where you get the change. And we know that when you look at especially people in the sports world, you know, people like David Goggins or whatever, Olympians and everything, they become key for people in terms of inspiration and just going for it. So
but then people see them and then go, oh my God, they're high performers. They're so majorly world-class successful that sometimes people go, I'll never get to that. But when you actually listen to them and read the books or listen to their interviews, and they talk about just being, they still just follow the basic steps of repetition, because repetition's massive, isn't it, in creating confidence. They still go back to basics, but it's all about consistency, repetition, that builds the practice. They don't do anything out of this world. There's no magic formula for confidence, for high performance, is there? They just are consistent. They practice and they repeat and they keep honing on a skill. And the more that you do that, the more it gives you confidence, and the more it gives you confidence then to try new things. But absolutely, I mean, it's a great analogy to look at sport. For that.
Spot on. Where can people find you and connect with you?
I'm on Facebook, Claire Morton. I've got my website is, because I'm known as the _purpose pusher on Instagram, because I gentle with love push people to find their purpose. And my website is also thepurpose-pusher.com, and I'm all on LinkedIn and under Claire Morton.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you for listening to Being Confident from Within. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and it inspired you in trusting no matter what happens in any particular situation, you'll be able to handle it and learn from the outcome. I really love hearing from you, so please leave a review and let me know which part of the episode resonated with you the most. Have an amazing day.